Good morning, and here's another thought for today from me, Peter Harrison. I know two people who have both completed projects of which they're proud that have no similarity apart from the degree of application and persistence involved. The one I encountered first was someone, of whom there are by now over 6,500, who has climbed all the nearly 300 hills or mountains of a height at least 3,000 feet in Scotland called Munros, named after the man who classified them. The other is someone who challenged me after I wrote in a Viewpoint in Outlook, our parish magazine, saying I knew of no one who had read the whole Bible. He had done it. Both of these achievements, very impressive themselves, do not necessarily have long-term benefit. The fitness reached in climbing soon disappears if not kept up, and I'm sure that the Bible reader knows that for further understanding, careful reading of smaller portions under guidance is needed. Without, I hope, being small-minded, I also wonder if in fact the whole Bible is read, as the collection of books that make up the Apocrypha are often omitted. These books are only accepted as being sufficiently inspired to be worthy of inclusion in the canon of the Bible by the Roman Catholic Church. Both Protestant denominations and those of Jewish faith respect them but separate them. My thoughts today are consequent to a Zoom meeting of an interfaith study group to which I belong last week, when we looked at a passage in the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, from the Apocrypha. The date of final codification of the Hebrew Bible was thought to have been around the year 100 AD, or Common Era, as it is now called. But modern thought suggests an earlier date of 100 BC that may explain the exclusion of the book of Sirach, as it had only been written 50 years earlier by a man called Ben Sirach. In chapter 38, there are 16 verses relating to illness and how it should be coped with, 3 of which are: honour physicians for their services, for their gift of healing comes from the Most High. My child, when you are ill, do not delay, but pray to the Lord, and he will hear you. Then give his physician his place, for the Lord created him. Do not let him leave you, for you need him. There's a challenging verse to end with. He who sins against his Maker will be defiant towards the physician. This is not the time to reflect on the asking for miraculous healing, but I highly recommend the reading of verses 1 to 16 as an exposition of appropriate action when ill. They can be found in the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible. Bearing in mind there were no hospitals 2,000 years ago, it is not surprising that only doctors and pharmacists are mentioned. And updating this passage today would surely include the many supplementary professions as well as caterers and cleaners. There has been a genuine feeling of deep gratitude to all who work in healthcare in this crisis, but this should not be allowed to obscure the suffering of those who have died and the pain of their loved ones. Many prayers of thanks have been given for all NHS staff, but we should spare thought for the deep pain and stress caused by losing such a high percentage of patients who are admitted to hospital. No compassionate caring doctor or nurse fails to have a profound regret at the death of any patient. Indeed, I can still remember the name of the first man to die in my ward when I was a house physician, and my daughter, only 18 and a student nurse, was quite devastated for a few days when a young woman patient died unexpectedly in theatre. The current level of deaths is of a scale unknown for over a century, and is producing severe reactions and threatening the ability of even very experienced staff to continue. When we pray for God to heal us or our loved ones, may we pray for the physical and mental well-being of all carers, professional and lay, and remembering the words that Tracy often quotes from St. Teresa of Avila: God has no hand but ours. Ours are the lips through which he speaks. Make clear that while perhaps unable to help at this time, we are at least trying to understand.